Hi, my name is Connie Strasheim. I'm a medical researcher and writer and author of 5 books on holistic treatments for different diseases, including Lyme disease and cancer. I'm also a survivor of chronic illness involving Lyme disease, and I'm here today to talk to you just a little bit about my healing journey because I often get questions about where I've been, where I'm at today, what's my current treatment protocol, so I just want to talk to you a little bit about that in this video. I was diagnosed with chronic Lyme disease in 2005, although I had become severely ill about a year before in 2004, and the symptoms actually started in about 2001. So I began treatment for borreliosis and co-infections, or tick-borne infections as they're sometimes referred to, even though they are transmitted through other means besides through the bite of a tick. I began these treatments in 2005. I did Rife machine therapy, I did biophoton therapy, I did high doses of antimicrobial herbal remedies, and finally, when all of that failed to get rid of the infections completely, I did high doses of multiple antibiotics. Now, my doctor declared me to be free of these infections at the end of 2010, and while that news made me happy, I was also discouraged because I really wasn't feeling better. In fact, I felt worse, and so at that point, I realized that there were other factors that were making me sick. And actually, I did know this before that. I knew that environmental toxins were contributing to the symptoms. I knew hormonal imbalances were important, but I kind of relegated them as secondary in the picture, as kind of like the result of Lyme and the infections, and it didn't occur to me that perhaps they were primary and the Lyme infections were secondary. And so what I learned prompted me to write this book called Beyond Lyme Disease, and this book's about healing the underlying causes of chronic illness in people with borreliosis and co-infections, because I believe that a lot of people who have chronic Lyme disease are also suffering from other conditions which are just as important as the tick-borne infections, if not more so. So anyway, you can check out this book at limebook.com. And this year, so what I did this year is I had a reactivated Bartonella, Babesia, Borrelia infections, but they came back kind of at a low-grade level, and I believe the reason they came back is because I still hadn't treated these other problems in my body. But anyway, I treated them this time with the NutriMedix products because I really like these products. They've been helpful in the past, but this year what I did differently is I took them in higher doses, and I took them along with proteolytic enzymes, which help to break up the biofilms that these microbes hide themselves in. And biofilms are polysaccharide matrices that microorganisms use to hide from the immune system, to hide from treatments. And so I used Banderol to get rid of the Bartonella infection, and also to get rid of the systemic fungal infection that I believe had resulted from high doses of antibiotic therapy. And Banderol is really an excellent remedy. It can be very potent, so I would use it only under the supervision of a doctor. And I ended up taking 60 drops of this twice a day, along with enzymes like serrapeptase, and I know you can't see the labels on these bottles, but these are both NutriMedix products, also lumbrikinase, nattokinase, and just rotating those different enzymes so that the organisms don't adapt. I also took Cemento, which is a really good broad spectrum antimicrobial, especially used for treating Borrelia, although it can be used for other infections as well. And I rotated that with Kumanda, which is another NutriMedix product. So these were the principal antimicrobials that I used this year for the low-grade infections, and also for the systemic fungal infection that I had been dealing with. Now, I also just want to mention that one of the major causes of what I've gone through, I believe, of the symptoms that I've suffered from, is adrenal fatigue. And the adrenal fatigue has come principally, I believe, from emotional trauma, and then just from the overload of the toxins and the pathogens in my body. And so to address the adrenal fatigue, I guess more specifically, first the emotional trauma, I went through a period where I cognitively worked through things that had happened to me in the past. I did therapies, cognitive therapies of all types, prayer, meditation. But the thing is that trauma stores itself in all the organs and tissues of the body. So finally, I began doing sessions on what's called an EVOX machine, or EVOX is the name of the therapy. And what it does is it pulls trauma out of the cells. And I've combined that with this product called ESOV, which what it does is it's a hyssop extract. And when you take it at night, trauma that's been stored in your cells gets released through your dreams. And again, this is a NutriMedix product. Now, I just want to insert a disclaimer here and let you know that I don't receive any financial compensation from NutriMedix or any of the companies that I'm going to talk about today in this video. I just happen to really like their products. And I also like the fact that NutriMedics, they donate a lot of their proceeds to helping people, the underprivileged in the United States as well as abroad. And I just really admire them for that. So if it came down to me choosing between one antimicrobial remedy and another, one type of herb versus another, I choose NutriMedics because of the work that they do. But the products are also really excellent. So I take that. I also take, currently still take melatonin for sleep. I take progesterone because when you have adrenal fatigue, which I'm still working to overcome, then the body doesn't create proper amounts of progesterone. And so I take a progesterone cream because it helps me sleep and helps to mitigate other symptoms that come up. So this is from ITC Compounding Pharmacy. It's a compounded form of progesterone, although sometimes over-the-counter forms of progesterone can work really well too. Now, so in addition to, so I no longer have to treat the Lyme infection, so those are once again not an issue, but I continue to take antimicrobial remedies just to remove any remnants of the antifungal, or excuse me, the fungal infection, and I'm taking a parasitic remedy. Parasites are a really big cause of chronic illness in people with Lyme disease, and so parasites are something I never really addressed that much, and so I'm currently taking a liposomal parasite formula to rid my body of those things. I continue to take BioPure's core product. This is a lot of minerals are contained within this product. It's also used for treating pyroluria, which is a condition that people with Lyme disease tend to have, a lot of people anyway, and that's also discussed in my book. Everything I talk about here is actually described in my book, Beyond Lyme Disease, if you want to learn more about it. And I take a number of other remedies just to keep my body strong, to build up the reserves of nutrients that were depleted by chronic illness. This is a really good anti-inflammatory that I take for lower back pain. It's called Busmeric SR, and it has a lot of natural anti-inflammatories in it, and I found it to be one of the better ones. It's a little pricey, but it can work really well for some people. Now, in addition, I also, to kind of build up my adrenals, I take a couple products. I try to keep things simple because I think you can overload the body when you take too much stuff. But Dr. Lamb, who has a really good book on adrenal fatigue, by the way, makes this Lipo-Nano C. It's a form of liposomal vitamin C. It's really excellent. So I take this along with Pandrenal, which is a form of pantothenic acid called pantethine. It's so it's really bioavailable to the body. So I do that along with chicken broth, and I find that those things are really helpful for building the adrenals. And by the way, I discovered this year that I have high electromagnetic fields in my bedroom where I sleep, and that this causes me to have adrenaline surges at night. I found that it would cause this buzzing in my body and the adrenaline surges, and I'd wake up tired. And my doctor believes that this is 60 to 70% of why I'm still trying to recover from adrenal fatigue and why I still have struggle with insomnia. But anyway, so I'm currently working on mitigating that problem, and electromagnetic fields can be a major cause or perpetuating cause of illness, and so I really recommend making sure that you don't have high levels of these fields in your house. And my book Beyond Lyme Disease talks about how to mitigate those fields, because I think it's really important for some people's healing to be in a low EMF environment. Now, in addition to these things, I also take substances to bind toxins, and this is just something that I think we all have to do on an ongoing basis just because there's so many toxins in our environment. And NutriMedics makes a great zeolite product. It's also really affordable compared to some other zeolites, and so I take this on an ongoing basis to remove toxins. And I also take liposomal EDTA and DMSA to remove heavy metals, and heavy metal chelation is something I've been doing for years, and so I continue to do that. Finally, I also take Amantia. This is a NutriMedics product that helps in sleep. It also helps you to relax if you have anxiety, and I've just found it to be wonderful for both of those things, for relaxing the body and relieving anxiety. So that is kind of the gist of what I'm doing. I take some other things, but this is kind of the main thing, and so this is kind of the stuff that I just want to share with you today because it's been really important for my healing. And so anyway, I hope this information benefits you. If you have any questions or comments about my treatment protocol, where I've been in my healing journey, feel free to email me at connie9824@aol.com. And you can also learn more about my books at lymeinsights.com and also on my blog, which is lymebites, BYTES.blogspot.com. Thank you. Have a great day.